Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, and you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
I'm like, okay, well, has this always been a thing? Where have I been?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Smacked Raw podcast, your WWE and AEW recap shows. We are your host, Kyle Tyson. And what did you dub yourself, RN2D2?
That was bad, yeah, it was dope.
What was the story about that? Katie fucked up the audio and gave you like T-Pain auto-tune for like a week or two?
I guess she wanted me to buy her a drink or something. I don't know. She had me.
RN2D2, man. Check out your logo on Twitter. This shit had me fucking rolling. I was happy to make that logo for you, by the way.
Yeah, it was fucking dope. And fat, quick as fuck, too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I told you, I was changing my picture that fucking day. I did.
Yeah, you weren't lying, man. Like I said, you guys, we're a wrestling recap show. We primarily cover WWE and AEW, but we do make exceptions. Like next Tuesday, Kenny Omega from AEW Dynamite ran off to Impact Wrestling, so we got to at least do one Impact review. Gotta hope it doesn't last too long.
I think I'm about to add that to the thing, man. Like, I like Impact. Like, honestly, like, once you mentioned it to me and we were talking about it, like, it's just that they don't have any crowd. Like, even if they just pump some crowd noise in,
yeah,
like that's literally what they're missing now. Like, and it bogs the program down. But I fuck with Impact. Like, I caught up with it actually today. I'm actually maybe 2 weeks behind, but I watched the Turning Point pay-per-view and then a couple shows after it.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we could do something like kind of like what Going in Raw does. They don't do weekly recaps of Impact, but I know Steve, one of the hosts, he'll do like live co-streaming of Impact, and it's just kind of like live content only. Like you could tune in, watch Impact, and be talking about the shit live with live viewers. You know, make it like a live only thing. Who knows?
We'll definitely talk about it for sure.
But that's what we do, you guys. We recap wrestling. You can find us live on twitch.tv/putting you over, youtube.com/SmackDown podcast, and pretty much everywhere else the audio versions can be found. We also have a Patreon if you want to support us financially, where we hand out like stickers and t-shirts and a couple other things. Honestly, I haven't touched the Patreon in a while. I keep saying I got to get to it. I will get to it. I'm going to update it, make it a little bit nicer, a little bit more appealing. We are very grateful for our continued patrons who've been sticking with us since day one. That's awesome. And so we still are affiliated with WrestlingNewsWorld.com. We have not been on the website for a while, but I did have, actually, of all people, our fantasy predictions winner from, I can't remember the 4 pay-per-views, but we did predictions and tallied up, you know, how many you got right over the course of the last 4 pay-per-views. D-Rod ended up winning the whole thing. He reached out to me. Apparently, you know, he works with Wrestling News World, and he said he's going to help me either get a login or he might actually be uploading shit. Could you imagine D-Rod uploading our show? Like, we're talking trash about D-Rod, and he's posting it on the internet.
Don't put that weak shit in here. Don't put that weak shit in here. You are talking shit about D-Rod. I fucks with D-Rod hard. That's my guy.
I love D-Rod. I do. I'll never tell him.
Hashtag naked streamer. We still don't know if that's exactly true or not, but we're going to run with that until the end of time.
Oh, man. Tonight we're going to talk SmackDown. RN, what do you think SmackDown, man?
This was actually a pretty damn good episode. Like I was, I don't want to say I was surprised because I mean they kind of have been hitting their stride here since Roman came back. But
there was one surprise. A former champion getting tapped out in like 30 seconds.
This whole thing, we'll get to it. Let's get into it.
Yeah, we'll get it. So. I mean, we talked about what's awesome. I have my notes here in front of me. We have let's see what we had. We had J&J Security 2.0 came out.
Which you called.
I did, man. I called that. It took me a minute to recognize them, by the way.
I didn't recognize the other guy, but I recognized Wesley almost immediately.
Yeah.
That fucking wide ass nose and face, like I instantly was like, holy fuck, he called it.
A lot of people are high on Sasha Banks' sit down promo that she delivered with Carmella. A lot of people seem to like that. I saw.
I like that, but not because of Sasha.
And yeah, and then like I said, you have Natalia tapped out Bayley tonight in what felt like 30 seconds.
It was probably about 4 minutes, and she remembered how to do the sharpshooter this week.
Yeah, one of if not actually the most dominant SmackDown Women's Champion since the recent brand split, at least I think of all time, maybe taps out to Natalia. Like a glorified jobber. No offense, Natalia. No offense, but
lots of offense, extreme amounts of offense.
Yeah. Natalia took her ass out. It was just like a minor distraction, right? From Bianca Belair, right?
It was nothing. It was
nothing.
I must have missed the distraction. That's how much of a nothing distraction it was. Like, dude, she turned around, looked at her, and that's it.
Yeah, I was taking notes, and next thing I know, I heard Bayley fucking tap it, and I missed it. I'll have to go back and watch the ending, but yeah, interesting. Interesting to say the least. Sean Ross Stats pointed out that that made 9 straight losses for Bayley in this build-up for her feud for Bianca Belair. Yeah, dude, the women's SmackDown's like only 2 feuds you got going on. Not the greatest, you know. Could be.
I don't even know what to say. Like, I fucking hate Natty so much.
Yeah. We'll get into it, man. But yeah, once again, and the main event was pretty dope. So the night started out, and then throughout the night, we had a lot of Patterson tributes. Recently lost him earlier in the week. Super touching, especially the video package they put together. That legit got me. I was actually kind of surprised they didn't cut to commercial, because I would imagine, like, you know, I mean, from what I gather, everybody there has had some semblance of a relationship with Pat Patterson. The man,
he was,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, from what it seemed like, he was the good cop to Vince's bad cop for fucking 30 years almost.
Yeah, and to expect Michael Cole and Corey Graves to go from watching that video package back into announcing like matches and stuff. I think Corey Graves actually for a moment was like broken up, and then Cole, being the professional, was able just to kick it into gear and push the show forward.
The thing about
him, let those guys sob a little bit, dude. Like, fuck, that was a touching package.
Thing about Pat too is, like, people, like, especially people like our age and younger that aren't like in the wrestling like we are, they don't understand what Pat Patterson really meant to wrestling as a whole, and especially the WWE as a whole. They don't know that he was Vince's right-hand man when it came to doing matches. He fucking invented the Royal Rumble. I mean, there's all types of shit and things that you love and see on TV that came from Pat Patterson. Then not to mention him being probably the first openly gay wrestler in fucking history.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's hard to think of anybody else. Honestly, yeah, man. Pat Patterson's a big deal. A lot of us that are our age probably remember him best as being part of the Stooges in the 90s, that comic angle. It's funny when you look back and you realize, like, how big a deal both him and Gerald Briscoe were in the 70s and 80s, and then you look at them in the 90s, and you would think nowadays, if that happened nowadays, people would tear everyone apart, like, you're disrespecting the legends. But back then, they killed it, man. And everyone will remember their legendary 5-star hardcore title match, the evening gown match between Gerald Briscoe and Pat Patterson.
You got to think, like, at that time, they weren't as old as we thought they were. Like, they were only in their, like, early 50s and shit. Like, we looked at them as, like, 70, 80-year-old men because they were so much older as us as kids, but they really were not that far removed from, like, some of the guys that are still fucking wrestling.
Well, those generations aged more, too.
Yeah, well, because they fucking did drugs and drank and
wrestled. Fun stuff. Yeah.
Wrestled 364 days out of the fucking year, pretty much for $5.
Oh man, it was touching though. It's good to see. WWE always does their tribute package as well, and they handled that with awesome care, man. That was really good.
Yeah.
The opening segment was pretty hot. It was a recap of Jey Uso snapping last week on SmackDown. Roman Reigns is in there for an interview with Kayla Braxton. She drops the line, does he possibly fear Kevin Owens? And I fucking loved it, man. Like, he laid into Kayla. It's hard. You don't really see people laying into announcers or interviewers as much lately, but Kayla's been has taken it quite a few times.
Right.
But he's like, we have Michael Cole over there. He could have been interviewing. We took the chance on you, and you're dropping the ball like this. And he wants to hand the mic off to Paul Heyman. It was good stuff. It was good stuff watching Roman and Kayla.
I like it too because a lot of the times too, when they have like those type of segments with the women reporters backstage, it feels kind of cringy and like dirty almost. But like you can tell that she's into it and that she probably told him like, no, don't fucking hold back. Do what you got to do. Like you could tell she's a real professional and like she knows what she's there for and what her role is to the overall feud and to Roman's character. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I like it because she can take the fucking punches.
Yeah. I mean, it all started with her taking jabs at Jey Uso.
Right.
When he initially lost to Roman Reigns, calling him essentially a lackey and joking on his behalf every time. Yeah,
she's
too bad.
Talking smack too.
It's too bad it's not like the 90s. You're not going to have like a payoff where Caleb mouths off to the Dudley Boys and gets put through a table.
Nah, absolutely.
No.
Good old days when you could physically hurt women.
Yeah. But during the interview, Kevin Owens comes out. He challenges Roman Reigns to a TLC match at TLC, in which Jey Uso accepted on Roman's behalf. It's like, Jey, you can't help but trip over your own feet, can you? Like, you learn just literally do nothing unless you're told what to do.
The looks on Paul's faces every time Jey does something stupid, like, because you can only see Paul, like, kind of like off to the side or in the back. Like, go back and rewatch that and just look at Paul. Every time Jey does something fucking stupid, like his facials and how he fucking just comes across, like, it makes it magical. Because you could tell, like, it's those situations where you're, like, with your boss or with you get in trouble with your parents and your brother says and does some dumb shit and gets y'all in more trouble. Like, and you're looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that's how Paul looks every time Jey talks or says anything. Like, fucking magic.
It's funny how great Paul Heyman is as a talker, and he can add so much to a segment without talking as well.
Literally.
Just his, like you said, just his facial expressions.
And just that little when he snatched the mic and he was giving, and Roman stuck his hand out to get the mic, and Paul's like, what the hell are you doing? Put the mic in his hand. Like, you could barely hear him. It was like off to the side, but like just that little piece, like, he's like, what are you doing? You are making this terrible for all of us, you fucking buffoon. Shut up, give him the mic, get out of the way.
Yeah, Bama says, Paul is simply a genius. You can tell his fingerprints are all over this entire story and everybody involved. I'd love to believe so too, honestly.
Well, that was one of the caveats for Roman coming back and doing this, was he said he wanted to do it, but he'd only do it and come back if Paul was involved, either on screen or writing the segments or whatever. So, he threw his fucking weight around. He is the head of the table if he can get that, because they completely were done with Paul.
Yeah. Following this, backstage, Roman, Jey is kind of freaking out. Like, Jey is starting to understand the weight of his mistakes. And he's kind of like having a slight panic attack back there. He's like, I know I must have overstepped my bounds. I know I was probably out of line there. Roman comforts him, almost like to help him feel like everything is okay, but just reminds him coyly, like, there are consequences for these mistakes, which later in the night we found out, boy, if Roman ever was like my dad and was like, Kyle, there are consequences for your actions, I'm moving out.
And that's all this feels like to me. It's like when you're a teenager and you just keep fucking up and can't get it right, and your dad's just waiting and waiting for the opportunity to put fucking hands on you. That's what it just seems like. And you're like, you know it's coming, but you don't know when, but you know he's gonna fucking yoke you to fuck up, take you off your feet somehow. And it just,
Overcooks the steak a little bit.
yeah,
Just fucking snaps.
fucking the batteries fall out of the remote or some shit, just like some little thing, and he's gonna literally choke the fucking life out of you.
He catches you like playing like trash can basketball and you miss the trash can.
What type of shot is that, motherfucker? Put your elbows up.
Oh man. Okay, so after this is your favorite segment of the night. Natalya tapping out Bayley in a matter of minutes, with Bianca Belair watching ringside. Aren, what do we got going on? While you talk about this, I'm gonna look up, see if I can't see the exact finish.
I mean, it started out like Bayley got a couple of nice moves in and shit and everything, but it was your normal fucking distraction move. But normally this happens to babyface, it's not the heel. And she just looked up, and Natalie magically after 3 weeks figured out how to put a sharpshooter on again, and that was it.
Oh man. And this is to build a feud towards Bianca Belair, obviously. So you have Bayley, the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion, really fresh off her title loss. I mean, it was literally Survivor Series, right? One pay-per-view ago? No.
No, it wasn't Survivor Series. It was
the Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, Hell in a Cell. So you're literally only one pay-per-view removed. And she's ate, like I said, Sean Ross Sapp said she ate 9 losses from this. I'm watching the ending of the match now.
I just want to give a shout out to Bianca Belair for being the only African American on on any wrestling TV that is not shucking and jiving and dancing for you white folks.
I mean, she does dance, but it's probably not for us.
Yeah, but not the dancing those other guys do, like dancing like Little Richard and shit, doing the splits like Rich Swann. Like that shit pisses me off more than anything.
Okay, so Bayley was distracted. Natalya tossed her into the ring steps. And then I believe it was shortly after that is when Natalya locked in the sharpshooter, beat Bayley. Fucking weird, man. Weird. You can have these legendary matches with Sasha Banks and everything, and then it's always just it's so weird how you can have such a person who is so dominant and coming off of some of the best and most like back and forth matches.
And carrying the whole fucking company throughout the quarantine too. Don't forget that.
And all of a sudden, again, rolled up every week, and then tapping out to the sharpshooter just felt weird. I mean, it reminds me of we all do have to pump the brakes a little bit. And remember, even The Rock got rolled up by Hurricane Helms back in the day. It does happen, but man, it's surreal when you see it happen.
And why did it have to be fucking Natty? Like, why? But I guess even a garbage can gets a steak every once in a while. I guess. Shit. Like, what man. The?
Speaking of steak. While I was in Maine, if any of our listeners saw, I missed Raw last week. I had to go to Maine. It was all my cousin passing. I went and saw some family. It was nice. My aunt treated us all to Longhorn Steakhouse. It was like, get whatever you want, right? I got a 12-ounce ribeye. Love ribeye. They're always the juiciest, most flavorful steaks you can get your hands on. My younger brother, like 5'10", was just like, okay, I'm going all out. Orders a 22-ounce porterhouse. The steak was as big as him. It was a really funny video. I know people aren't really into Facebook, so I might throw it on Twitter. Just because it's not really like a family picture. It is like a funny picture, but of him eating that steak.
I took down. I got one. My girlfriend took me to Chicago and we went to a steakhouse in Chicago. I think I did a little bit more than half on a 22-ouncer.
Yeah, I think that's about what he got through was half. It looked like he got about halfway through that thing. I know he tossed it in my SUV when we left. And then I mistook it for my leftovers. I picked it up, man. That thing still had some weight on it. I was like, man, that's at least another 2 meals. You could stretch that out over at least 2 more meals if you wanted. But yeah, no, sorry. It's been a long time since I had a ribeye, and I haven't quite gotten over it, man. Like, I've been thinking a lot about that ribeye steak I had less than a week ago. Oh. Anyways, that was really fucking stupid. I'll edit it out.
No, I like.
What do we get afterwards? Oh, the tribute to Pat Patterson. That's where we got that like emotional video. He was singing
Yeah.
"I Did It My Way." It went between him and I believe Frank Sinatra sings the original.
Yeah.
Man, it was good. It was
Nobody does that better than them. Like the video packages, like memorial ones or ones for matches or for Hall of Fame, like whatever. Like nobody, whoever their like documentary / whatever that department is, like they should be getting like fucking Academy Award nominations.
They're incredible video editors.
Like I don't even know. Like, yeah. Whatever that department is, like they need to show them more and give them more shine for sure.
Yeah. No, it was really well done. I mean, even like at the end, even I was getting emotional. I don't say even like I'm some tough guy. I get emotional over stupid shit, but it was really good. And it kicked off the Pat Patterson tribute 6-man tag match. I think everybody in the match is either current or former Intercontinental Champion. And it also debuted Big E's new entrance.
I wasn't mad at it.
Yeah. So I didn't get to see NXT Big E, but apparently he did the whole chalk.
Yeah. That's why I asked. Yeah, I tweeted out, was he going to bring the 5 count back? Because that's what he used to do. He'd chalk up before the match, and then he'd do the 5 count after he completely annihilated some fucking jobber.
Yeah, he did good, man. He came out. What'd you think of the music?
I liked it.
It wasn't bad. I don't know why. What I thought I saw. What to say? Think Big or
something like that. Or
when I first saw it, I thought it was Chad Gable's new shit. I was like, oh,
I swear that's what I was thinking too. I thought because like how the dude looked, like I was like, that's all right. Fuck, what is this, Chad Gable? Like that's literally the first thing that came to my mind too until Big E came out.
They're trying to make up for all the short jokes.
Right.
I was Big E. It was obvious. I mean, for one, it was a tell. They said they were all former Intercontinental Champions. Yeah, the match itself was. So this is what it strikes me as. I really feel like this match was already scheduled.
Yeah.
I don't think they threw it together last minute, but I mean, if they did, kudos to WWE. To me, it just felt like an excuse to say it was a tribute to Pat Patterson. Because I didn't put too much expectations, but I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay, if they're doing a tribute match, we might see something here. We might see him go a little bit harder, a little bit more high spots. To be honest, I mean, Daniel Bryan and Big E looked really good.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was just your standard 6-man tag. It was,
well,
it wasn't no like AEW 6-man tag.
Well, for one, too, you had a bunch of fucking scrubs in there, Scuba Steve and fucking the hairband guy. Like it was a bunch of scrubs besides Daniel Bryan and Big E. I mean,
hairband guy,
Dolph Ziggler, whatever.
Dolph Ziggler, still wearing the Team SmackDown hat,
which I'm not mad at. I kind of liked it. That's heel as fuck, so I kind of dig that. And Rey Mysterio's ass, like it was terrible. Like I get what they were doing. Like I said, I don't think they threw it together either. But like you could have picked some better fucking. Well, they may not have had better participants to pick now that I think about it, but still.
Dude, make it a fatal 4-way.
Yeah. Put a tournament on the line for, because wasn't he like
a gauntlet match? Or a gauntlet.
Wasn't he the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion or the first Intercontinental Champion? Something like that, wasn't he? First. Put a fucking tournament on for him.
I'm glad you brought that up because they had the original title ringside. They were showing it off, and it looked great.
Yeah.
And they kept the kayfabe alive that he won it in a tournament in 1979 in Rio de Janeiro. And if you're not aware, it totally never happened. They just, said, hey, this guy won an untelevised tournament. He's the champion. But I love that commentary is keeping the story alive. So
Yeah, that was the thing too. Like even if you had did those guys like in a little mini tournament, or like you said, like a fatal 4-way, that would have probably been better and made more sense than just slapping together like 6-man tag. Like it's like I'm so over these multi-tag matches and AEW too. Like everything doesn't have to be a fucking 90-man tag team match.
I mean, like I said, it was good. Daniel Bryan looked hot
Yeah.
out there. Big E looked hot. I thought Big E should have won. Instead, it was Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan didn't realize not Dolph Ziggler. Sami Zayn was the legal man.
Yeah.
He took out Dolph. Sami Zayn almost rolled him up, but then Daniel Bryan got him with I believe, a schoolboy roll up. They claimed was one of Pat Patterson's big moves. But in my mind, I am under the impression that they're trying to build Big E. So my only gripe
You need to shut your dirty little mouth, because every time you say something about fucking Big E, it totally backfires and he ends up fucking jobbing out or some shit. So just leave Big E alone.
He's gonna get his hands on that belt. He's gonna get his hands back on the IC belt. They gave him a new entrance. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it.
I wish it was the World Cup. I feel like him versus Roman. Maybe we'll get that at Mania or some shit. Maybe. Hopefully, if they build it up good enough.
But I think you could have done a fatal 4-way with Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn, and Nakamura, or even take Zayn out if you do it for like a #1 contender shot,
right?
And throw who was the third face in the match?
Rey Mysterio's old ass.
No, not Rey. Okay, then Dolph Ziggler. Keep Dolph.
Yeah,
Ziggler. Why not?
2 faces, 2 heels. Keep it moving.
Yeah, and make it a fatal 4. The match would have blown the roof off the joint. You know. Well, it says here, Bama's informing us. First, he says, it was good. I like that he was still wearing New Day gear, and Michael Cole called him former New Day member. Michael Cole, he is still a member of the New Day. Trust me. And secondly, he says, well, now Daniel Bryan has earned a title shot against Zayn. So is that what they announced? That Bryan's got the title shot?
I didn't pay attention if they did.
Let's see here. DANIEL.
I told you, I keep forgetting half the time that Zayn's the fucking Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, I know. They really don't show that belt the respect it deserves.
Absolutely not. And that's the thing, too, like, for what the belt used to be and what it stands for, Zayn is a guy that could be a workhorse champion, and he can still do heel shit to win, but, like, he is a guy that could be what the Intercontinental Championship is about.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Let me see here if WWE announced if Daniel Bryan has earned the title shot. They really do just go straight on to 205 Live.
Do they?
Oh, yeah. If you go to their Twitter page, I like their Twitter page because if you ever forget to take notes, they do break down the show like as it plays out on Twitter. You can watch almost the entire show or piece together what's happened throughout the night if you just pay attention to Twitter. Let's see. I mean, unless it got announced on Talking Smack. Well, that doesn't even air till tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow morning.
Oh, Bama says it's nothing official yet, but that's usually what happens. Okay. He's not even on Talking Smack. Yeah, I mean, he probably will, or at least we'll get an argument that Daniel Bryan should be, and then you'll get a match to determine it. But yeah, we'll see. What we have next? I've diverted away from my notes. The Kevin Owens interview backstage, which honestly really was nothing, but it had this weird part. Like, he's pretty much just going off how Roman Reigns used to be one of the boys. During the interview, Kalisto just walks in on it.
What the fuck was that? Like, that's
the weirdest thing.
And then he said, I like your fedora. He's like, what the hell's that? Your hat.
Yeah, it's like your fedora. It was the most awkward damn thing. Like, I don't know how to explain it. You just have to watch it. It's almost like they tried to create like a real awkwardness, like mistake, like a shoot mistake. I don't know, man. It was funny. It was really small, and it was a nothing segment. But yeah, Kalisto just walked through an interview by mistake.
All I'm saying is all this shit. This just shows you how this Kevin Owens should not be a fucking face.
Yeah.
Like the heel Kevin Owens would have literally dumped him on his fucking head.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't mind face Kevin right now. Right now, I don't mind it. We already have a lot of heels, you know. And who you gonna turn face? You know.
That's true.
Yeah. Who you
Should
gonna
turn Nakamura back face. Been floundering as a heel, and that scuba Steve suit has got to go.
Yeah. I mean, it's never really bothered me, but I'm more bothered by the fact that just they don't know what to do with Nakamura.
The thing that kills me, the exact same thing they do for Asuka, you could do that with fucking Shinsuke, and he could probably do it better than her because he can speak at least some English better than her. Like
He's
you
got a
could
good
do
sense
that.
of humor.
Yeah, he's a damn good performer in general, and he could be whatever you need him to be. Like I don't understand how they dropped the ball on him so fucking bad. Like it just like that's probably one of my biggest gripes with the WWE is how bad they did Nakamura. Like it was just ridiculous.
Well, he was bred for NXT. That's the thing is he was bred for NXT. Because I mean his appeal besides like how cool the guy can come across is his wrestling style, and that's never gonna fly on the main card, especially as often as they were wrestling. Like, okay, so on main card, had somehow they made him like not part time, but not full time. Like pick and choose spots to have Nakamura.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I agree with that totally. Not about his style though, because his style is just the exact same fucking style as Asuka. Like they do damn near the exact same things, the kicking and stuff and choking people out and like a couple different things. But no, like in NXT, that is what they did. Like he was an attraction. He didn't wrestle all the damn time, and when he did, it felt big and it felt like it was important. And that's one of the difference. But also too, like he comes out the gate with John Cena, and then after that, they literally throw him in the trash.
Yeah, well, he did dump Cena on his head. Although,
I mean, but Seth Rollins broke Cena's nose. I mean,
yeah.
Like eventually, maybe it's not the other guy. Maybe it's Cena.
Maybe it's Cena. Oh man, we got a split screen interview with Sasha Banks and Carmella, which I always find funny. Is because they're in the same building.
They're literally sitting next to each other. We got a split screen.
They may have literally been like 8
across
feet apart,
Yeah.
But the interview takes, I guess, really just Sasha gloats, and I'm telling you, I'm sorry, you guys, I just have not been able to get on the Sasha face train, just like you with Kevin Owens. And they keep reminding us, and they keep portraying this. She's like a champion of the people. She has not done anything to either atone for the cruddy things that she did rolling with Bayley,
right? Or
come out and publicly say, she's doing it for fans. The woman has not stopped playing a heel character. She has not changed up her character. At no point did she go through a transformation.
None.
Character-wise. When her and Bayley split up.
It's like Adam Cole to me, too. Like, yeah, like there's nothing Adam Cole can do. Even now with this run he's on now. Like, he's still a dickhead. He's still a dickhead. Like he just is. Like, when he talks, like, I love it because I'm a dickhead. But, like, nothing about him screams, cheer for me, love me, I'm a face. Like, and the same thing with Sasha. Like, she's still coming out with them bomb-ass outfits. She still got that resting bitch face. She still's got that snarl. She's still wearing the boss shit. Like, nothing about her is about the people. She despises the people. Let that happen. Like, that's the part I don't understand. Like, and it pisses me off that they disrespect our intelligence that bad. Like, why can't it just be two heels going against each other, trying to fucking kill each other? Like, that's how it would be in the real world.
It's not a good versus evil storyline when one of them has the championship title.
Right.
It's two people fighting for the title.
For the same
thing. You don't really
thing.
need much more motivation beyond
No.
that.
Like, I don't, and I know they want to do it because it's PG-13 all that, and it has to be a good guy, but, like, that's not real life. And they keep saying this is the reality era, but they don't want anything to be real. Like, and in real life, Two badass bitches like that who look the best, dress the best, talk the best, have the best things. They're the best at everything they fucking do. Those type of bitches are going to hate each other in real life and want to fight.
They both
so
want the number one spot. That's
they
all it
both-
has to be.
That's all it has to be. It doesn't have to be, I'm here for the people. Raw, like Sasha Banks don't give a shit about them people. Her character never has. And she, like you said, she still has. When did she cut a face promo after beating Bayley? Like, and even with that, it wasn't face or anything like that. She was getting revenge because Bayley beat the brakes off of her before she got a chance to beat Bayley.
Yeah. So like I said, with that, I get turned off by the Sasha promos. I don't tune her out. I'm just like, I can't buy into it.
No, I feel this. I feel the exact same way. Like, and that's my biggest gripe, and not just there. All wrestling is like that. Like, it always has to be good versus evil, and sometimes it doesn't have to be that. Like you said, when the title's on the line, or respect, or some shit like that, where it's just a grudge match. Like, there is no good versus evil. It's I want to beat your ass. I want that title. Like, that's it. Let both these women be who they are.
Exactly. Colt brings up the point, says, do you think you two clash because you have so much in common? And they both go off like those classic teen shows and movies where they're like, we don't have anything in common, and then you like strike the same pose.
Right.
Some cheesy shit.
But the best was Carmella. Like, my one reign was longer than all your reigns combined. I was like, oh, sick burn. Got her.
I did like hearing and being reminded of Carmella's accolades, because I was one of those people that I just gradually became a Carmella fan over time.
Me too.
Because she grinded, she grinded and she scratched and clawed to get her.
She went from a diva to a superstar. Literally went from a diva to a fucking superstar.
Yeah, man. It was a fun watch, man. It was a fun watch.
Right.
But I mean, that was essentially the promo. Like I said, both of these feuds feel like they're missing a mark to like strike fire. However, at the same time, you can't knock it out the park. Every time. It is what it is.
The thing that kills me too about this is anytime Carmella's on screen or whatever, like what's his name? Graves just completely like bitches up and like doesn't say a word. Like, he has literally nothing to contribute. Like, bro, we all know you're smashing. Like, you can still do your job, bro. Like, he literally says nothing. He goes completely silent anytime she's on the screen.
Yeah, I don't even actually think about that. You're right, though. I can't
I don't know if it might be a conscious thing, like they might do it on purpose, but like, come on, bro. Like, he literally just like freezes up. He never says a word.
Yeah. Okay. So, finally we get the debut of J&J Security 2.0. They come out. It's I called this last week when Corbin got out-healed by the Mysterio family, or as Matt Ritter over at Smackin' It Raw refers to them as the Murph-Sterios. Corbin says he's going to come back and he'll be prepared. So I knew this was how they were going to get Blake and Cutler back on TV. He debuted him. Honestly, could not recognize him at first because they're clean shaven now, and I could not recognize them, and it took a little bit, but finally it did click in. Even commentary played it up for a minute, like they didn't know who they were, and it felt like maybe during the commercial break they were like, "Look, you guys can't play stupid, and go ahead and acknowledge them." So it wasn't until
I knew it was off rip. Huh? I knew it was off rip. I tweeted you immediately as soon as they came out. Like, you called it. Like,
I didn't get it right away, but it took a commercial break for commentary to be like, "Oh, by the way, these are former." Well, they didn't refer to them as Forgotten Sons. It's just, at least I don't think they did.
I don't think they did either.
Yeah,
I think they're trying to
pretty funny.
Themselves.
And then one of the other things that I really liked about commentary was it's taboo. You never hear him acknowledge NXT, and Graves actually acknowledged Blake and Murphy's NXT title run, or that they were former NXT tag title champions, or tag champs rather. And I thought that was interesting.
I think he's actually good friends with both of them too. Like they had to all come up around in that same class. Yeah.
But anyways, the match. I'd love to talk about the match, but I was distracted by Dominic Mysterio's bright pink turtleneck that he was wearing.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
Hey man, he came out fresh, looking like a new take on The Rock's old prom photo or whatever the hell that was.
Oh yeah, with the fanny pack.
The fanny pack.
I got that T-shirt.
Yeah. No, I mean the match was okay. Murphy obviously he struggles. The only thing I don't like is Murphy seems like he can't beat Corbin on his own when he just beat Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Well, my thing is we're gonna get this till fucking Mania. I know it.
Yeah.
I just know it. Any feud that Corbin's in, it lasts
It
6 or
lasts
7 months.
way too long. But yeah. Anyways, during the match, Murphy, the Cutler and Blake are constantly like standing off against Ray and Dominic, but nothing ever happens. But eventually, at the end, uh, Corbin motions them to go attack him. This causes the distraction, allowing Corbin to hit the end of days on Murphy. Picks up the win that we saw coming, and we're gonna have variation of this feuds going forward.
Especially now that they added them, and like to me, like the whole time, like Rey Mysterio and them seemed like the heels, like they were looking for an opportunity to fucking attack Corbin every chance. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they seemed like the heels in this the entire time, and like commentary just completely blows over them. Oh, it's because they didn't respect them. Like, bro, they're trying to interfere in this match and like fucking get like, what are you talking about? Like, they're the heels.
Yeah, it is weird. It's funny. I find it funny, but I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. It is kind of weird, and like you were right. I don't want to lose the viewers, but damn it, we're gonna get another feud with Corbin and Ray for goddamn just
I told
dreams
you.
of shit, man.
Never fails. Like, soon as I seen Corbin come out, I was like, oh my God, we're gonna get this till literally Mania.
Man. Well, anyways, Street Profits, your tag champs, they got nothing better to do than hype up the main event. Just talking about the Jey Uso and Roman Reigns taking on Otis and Kevin Owens. Robert Roode comes in, calls them out for being gossips, which it was actually kind of like a legit complaint.
Literally.
And then Cesaro comes in, throws his tag team in the hat. Completely forgot Cesaro and Nakamura are a tag team. Yeah, honestly, at this point, I forgot we're a tag team.
Definitely understandable.
Yeah, that was it. Honestly, dude, take Cesaro, Sammy, and Nakamura, put them all back together.
I don't want that. I want Cesaro, get him away from them completely and let him go on a run and give him a run. Him versus Big E for the Intercontinental title would be fucking match of the year shit.
Yeah, that'd be good. I could just picture them at this point being Sammy's muzzle. Like, finally just overstepping Sammy, not really backing down to him, and just keeping him shut up. Be like, we get it, guy. Let's go out there and do this. Every time Sammy starts to go on a rant.
Some of these guys, somebody needs to join Roman in them. Like, you can't have them. You can't have like I said, we talk about this every week. You can't have a mobster and no lieutenants or soldiers working for you besides one. Like, all these guys that got doing bullshit, Drew Gulak, all these guys could be cannon fodder, even if they're just, you know what I'm saying, just straight up fucking minions, like something.
You can't have a comedic wrestler around in Roman's faction, though.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to be a comedic wrestler. And really, his style and his ring style and everything. And I've been saying this for yelling at the fucking rooftops for 3 years now. Heel Drew Gulak from Evolve was the most dastardly, destructive, evil son of a bitch on the face of the fudging planet. Like, they can, he has it in him. He just gets stuck with this WWE bullshit because once they see you do one funny thing backstage, automatically you're a clown for the rest of your career.
Yeah.
Like, his catch point shit versus actually Timothy Thatcher. Like, he destroyed that man and did everything he could to destroy Timothy Thatcher. Jumped him, stole his belt, all types of crazy, mean shit, like legit evil shit. He has it in him. It's just, like I said, once they put that clown nose on you, it's glued on and ain't never coming off.
Yeah. I'm looking up right now. I want to see like who actually could join that roster. Me personally, I think you bring in somebody from NXT.
Yeah.
Couple names that stand out to me would be Cameron Grimes, Damian Priest. See those guys doing it.
Maybe not Cameron, but Priest I could see like
Yeah.
come in being like come in and get mentored by Roman. Because me personally, I think especially when Damian was a heel, that's what Roman Reigns should have been 5 fucking years ago.
Killian Dane could do it.
Yeah, put his ass in a suit, shave off some of that hair.
Yeah. Oh man, how good would that be? Yeah, those are the only names that pop out to me right now. But yeah, I hear you, man. It does have to grow the faction. Although tonight it played good.
Yeah.
The way the story rolled out tonight was fine with the 3-man crew. So yeah, Jimmy Uso is set to return probably by the end of January, February. I think Jimmy Uso is going to be cleared. Katie agrees. Priest would be cool. I think Priest would be pretty dope. So we found out what Jay's consequences were. He has to do the tag match by himself. So he's out there, essentially a 2-on-1 handicap match, taking on Otis and Kevin Owens. Once he starts to lose, out comes Roman Reigns. Doesn't do a whole lot, except he murders Otis on the outside with the steel steps. Jesus Christ, dude. He hit him so many times. And I was like, all right, cool. We're going to get some major story angle because they obviously just got DQ'd with like 10, 12 minutes left to go in the show.
Right.
No, we cut to commercial. The tag match continues. Otis is just dead outside.
Carded off.
Yeah, he's just carted off, man. He's a cadaver at this point. It turns out their weak-ass excuse was because Roman and Otis, neither of them were legal men in the match. The rules don't apply. They can have a hardcore match outside the ring, and it's okay, I guess. It was awkward.
Roman has the reality stone, bro, and an Infinity Gauntlet. He can change the reality. That's all that is.
Dude, yeah, he can change it on a whim.
He definitely got the Infinity Gauntlet because it makes no sense with his ring gear to have that gold fucking glove.
Hell no.
It's definitely the Infinity Gauntlet.
Kevin Owens now down 2-1. But it's still pretty much a one-on-one match because Roman Reigns isn't getting tagged in, so he's just taking on Jey Uso.
Yeah.
He does pretty good. Eventually, Roman causes a distraction. Jey hits him with a super kick, I believe, and then goes for the splash for the win. At this point, Roman motions Jey to get down off the top rope, tag him in, let Roman get the victory. Kevin Owens attacks Roman ahead of time, hits a stunner before he can win. Roman Reigns comes in, breaks up the pin, and then locks in the guillotine, and that's what causes the DQ. See, that's where it's weird. How'd you just straight up pinned or tapped out or passed out Owens for the victory? This would make sense. But the fact that everybody is already scratching their head at how is the stairs not a DQ, and then you roll with an actual DQ, felt like the weirdest book match.
No, honestly, it felt like a SmackDown book match.
But honestly, the ending was actually really cool, though, because Roman calls for some chairs. Him and Jey Uso bond by proceeding to murder Kevin Owens with some chairs, after which Roman then takes his chair to Jey Uso and lays him out, screaming at Jey. Apparently, this is payback for all those stupid mistakes he's been making. And then gets in Kevin Owens' lifeless face.
The best when they were both on the ground, he grabbed like Jimmy's hair and like brought him over to Kevin Owens. Like, you trying to turn me against my cousin, my family, after he just beat the brakes off of him.
Just reminded me of like that evil toddler with 2 dolls, like, now kiss. Fucking no.
Yeah.
He starts screaming at Kevin Owens and starts tugging his beard. And ever since I made that stupid Jeff Hardy beard tugging joke where he was grabbing onto Elias's beard, I fucking dial in anytime I see a grown man grab another man's beard. It's so off to me. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. He said, you tried to turn me on my family. He says, I'm gonna take your manhood, I'm gonna take your livelihood. I think he said I'm like gonna destroy you and your entire family at TLC. And yeah, and Roman's a full-on psychopath. It was It was, yeah, full on psycho. Katie says, get out of here with that beard tugging. That's what I'm saying. Oh, man. Oh, man. Bama says, guys, I don't remember being legit scared of a heel like I am Roman. Yeah, Roman's really going to be like haunting people in their nightmares.
Right.
Yeah, man. He's
Just
like
his
a
facials and shit.
sociopath.
Like when he clenches his fucking jaw, I'm like, oh my god, somebody's gonna die.
Yeah, man. But that was SmackDown. Like I said, it was like you said, right? It was good.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was a good show. And then what we have coming up now? Who else doing the takeover?
Katie and Kev for sure. I might, depending on how late it is.
Okay, we might pull in a guest. Try and see if like Bama's available, or maybe even like D-Rod or something. Maybe try to pull somebody in.
All right.
Have some fun crossover appeal on the show.
I'm with it because I don't like doing the late shows anyway. So
yeah. You guys out there listening, let us know what you thought of the show. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Hit us up on Twitter. I'm at the Kai Tai Show. RN can be found at Mr. 8984.
Yes,
And,
sir.
of course, you can always hit our show up at SmackDown Pod as well. But until next time, like always, you guys, y'all have a good one.
Peace out, y'all.